Hello, my name is Leanna and today I will be dissecting a sheep brain. Overall, I hope to gain a better understanding with this exercising, a better understanding of the structures of the brain, and hopefully the hand-on experience will help me to recall and retain this information a lot better. So, here is the brain in all its glory. Right away, you can see that it's much smaller than a human brain, but overall the structures are very similar. At first view, you can see that it's wrapped in a thin gray film, most likely the arachnoid or pia mater, maybe even both. These are the layers of, or one or two of the layers of the 3 layers of the meninge. The meninge are located around the brain to help protect the brain, circulate cerebrospinal fluid, and to support blood vessels. So let's remove this thin film or this matter. Doing this with the forceps to be mindful of the brain, to not damage it. It is very delicate. It seems that all of the dura mater, most of the arachnoid matter has pretty much been removed from my brain. If we take a look at the dorsal surface, we can see the grooves and ridges all along the brain. These are the succuli, which are the grooves, and the gyri, which are the ridges. These succuli and ridges help to increase the surface area of the brain. That way there is more room and more space for things like neurons. Overall, we can see that there are 2 hemispheres. There's a left and a right, and they are separated by this longitudinal fissure right down the medial sagittal line. Here to the back we have the cerebellum, the brainstem, and the spinal cord here at the base. On the posterior side we can see the cerebellum and the brainstem. If we flip it over to get a ventral view of the brain, we can see the olfactory bulbs, and we can even see the optic chiasm where those nerves connect and cross. From this bottom side, we can also see the pons, the medulla, and again, the brainstem. Now, before I get to cutting, I want to make note of the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the temporal lobe, and the occipital lobe. Now I'm going to take my scalpel and I will make a mid-sagittal cut along the longitudinal fissure to split the brain into left and right hemispheres. Be very careful. Okay, beautiful. Across the sagittal plane, we can very easily see the internal structures. Here we have a sagittal view of the brain. Here we can see the corpus callosum, which is the piece that connects the left and right hemisphere together and allows them to communicate back and forth to each other. We also can see the ventricles. These ventricles, although there are 4, are located within here to help spread cerebrospinal fluid throughout and all over the brain. Here we can see the thalamus, the hypothalamus, and the optic nerve. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the coronal slices from the front to back so I can inspect the ventricles more closely and hopefully get a piece of the hippocampus as well in the temporal lobe. Let's see. So first we're going to cut about here. So we are in the temporal lobe. Let's see. one thing I forgot to mention as well from this view, we have the cerebellum and we have the tree of life, which is really cool. Let's see. I think I did not cut far enough back, so we're going to make another cut. About right here. Let's see. There we go. And now from there, we have a better view of the hippocampus, which is important for memory. I believe that's everything. I'm just going to put that away so we don't hurt ourselves, clean up, and work on my paper. Overall, I felt like this was very, very helpful in learning the different structures and helping to identify them and see what they look like in real life. It's easy to see something in a book, but it's a completely different look and feel when you see it in real life and in the flesh. So I thought this was a great experiment or a lab, and I feel like I learned a lot. Thank you.